Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks for stopping by. Today I get to share with you a project for Gerda Steiner Designs using this adorable stamp set. It's a smaller stamp set, but it's called Please Be Mine. It could be used for Valentine's Day or every day. In fact, today's card, I wanted to make an everyday card. And so we're going to jump in and get started. Love the little two peas in the pod. Oh my goodness. We have two girls that we call two peas in the pod all the time. So we're just going to place our image on an acrylic block. And then I pulled in some distress watercolor cardstock from Tim Holtz. It's a little bit wider than my Canson XL watercolor cardstock. But we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring and stamping. I stamped with VersaFine ink my little pea pods 2 times. And then I'm going to go over them with some clear embossing powder. We'll just go ahead and melt that clear embossing powder. When I watercolor, I like to do this because it creates like a little well that will help contain my watercolor, because I have a tendency to go outside the lines, and so this is more for control on my part. Okay, I grabbed my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers and my water brush, and we're going to do a little bit of coloring. I left the numbers of the colors in the corner for you guys. Now when I use my Zig markers, I've been using some browns and grays just to richen the color a little bit, take them away from that bright color, to dull them down just a little bit. So that's why I brought in my grays and my browns. But I'll play a little music while I color, and then I will catch you back as soon as I'm done coloring. Okay, coloring is done, and I am so sorry I didn't zoom back out, but I'm going to fussy cut both the peas in this one. We're going to separate them and then leave a little bit of a white border on the bottom of them. That's going to help me be able to tuck them inside my little pea pod. Okay, I'm taking my craft knife and I'm cutting little slits right below the little peas, and then this way all I can have to do is take my individual peas, and then we're going to do a little tucking. I cut the peas, the individual ones, all the way to their black line, and so I took my black Copic marker and just went around the edges. This gives it a very clean look, and it hides any of my fussy cutting blemishes. But I just did my little pea tucking, and they look cute. After we have that done, I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive behind both of my little peas here. I think this adds a lot of dimension to your stamped images. Layering them like this gives just a lot of detail, and I really like that they come to life when you do this. So there's my peas. The little excess cardstock hanging over we'll just trim off, and they are ready to go. Okay, for my background panel, I'm going to be using a die set that I have in my stash. It's called the Elegant Rectangles. We're going to create a panel with white cardstock. And then on the inside of this panel, I'm going to be using a fireworks die. Now I know I like making, when I invest in dies, I like multi-purpose dies. So I thought this would create a real fun starburst behind my peas. So we're going to put this to good use outside of 4th of July. I just taped that down a little bit lower on my panel. This way we have room on top for our sentiment. And then I'm going to take one size smaller and cut out a panel with some glittery cardstock. Now after both of those are die cut, we're going to use the same dies to create a frame to go around our little starburst panel there. And all of our die cutting is done. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm using the sentiment, it's cute. It says we're two peas in a pod. And I'm going to place the sentiment on my block, kind of curving a little bit, so the curve matches the curve on my background panel. I think it's going to look fantastic. I'm going to stamp my sentiment with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And once we have that done, we're going to add a little bit of color to our little starburst here. I'm going to bring in some Distress Oxide ink. This is Dusty Concord. And using my blending tool, I'm going to add a little bit of color just around my starburst. This is going to take it from 4th of July a little bit to more of an accent background. I'm kind of fading out towards the edge of my starburst here and heavy in the center. And I love purple and green together. I think they complement each other very well. We're going to go ahead and tape our glittery background behind our panel here. We're just going to tape it directly on the back side. And I love that little extra sparkle. I think it looks super pretty. Okay, for our frame, I am going to add some thin pieces of foam tape behind it. We're just going to remove the release paper and add that to our panel here. Now I already die cut out a piece of fun foam that matches my frame, just a little bit smaller. I added double-sided tape behind it. We're just going to add that behind. And then this is going to go on an A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. We'll place that in the center. Now I went ahead and added my little pea pod, and I thought we'd add a little heart. I actually die cut out 2 hearts, one of them with a glittery cardstock and the other one with white cardstock. I'm using my Zig marker, the darkest shade of green, to add a little bit of color to that glittery cardstock. This is going to coordinate better with my little pea pods there. I'm just going to layer them both together with glue, and then I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive behind it and place that right in between our little peas. Super, just too cute. Okay, now I want to add a little bit of color towards the top. So I'm taking some like violet colored baker's twine, and I'm going to tie a bow all the way to the left here. I just pulled it inside my card and then around the outside. Kind of going to adjust our bows. I don't know if it does it to you guys, but baker's twine always curls up on me when I try to create my bows. So it takes a little bit of adjusting. But I just trim the tails, and then for a little added detail, I'm going to go around the edge of my starburst with some Nuvo glitter drops. These are White Blizzard. It's the same iridescent glitter as my background glittery cardstock. And then that finishes off my card today, guys. I think this is a cute, super cute stamp set. Great, not just for Valentine's Day, but for every day. I hope you enjoyed my project. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye, guys.